In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. Imagine that, a future that's super black. Long as your skin brown, your superpowers intact. What would your powers be? Just hope it ain't super whack. Spatial manipulation, create a portal that's black. Maybe just super speed, time travel to run it back. Or cheat manipulation to keep my spirit intact. As I encounter evils the world face, demons the world makes, I'm needed the world at stake. Rest in peace to Chadwick, they killed all the Black Panthers. Told us white lies, I still marvel at black answers. Suits in DC, pray it lead to a civil war. It ain't no Justice League, what's the need to be civil for? Propelled like the juggernaut, it's clear ain't no stopping this. The world in grave danger, who can stop the apocalypse? They killed all the heroes, the new ones don't really care. But if you need me, put your fist up in the air. Yeah, in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black.
Welcome to Blurred's Eye View. Blurred's Eye View is a podcast that covers geek pop culture and everything in between. I'm your host, Chris Fury, and with me are my co-host, DC, who is out on another mission right now. So who I'm have with me is my other agent, Candy B. How's it going, Candy B?
It's going great because DC's not here. So, and I hope he hears this, and I hope it hurts.
This is like the Bucky and Falcon dynamic I got going here. We have the pleasure with having two POC creators with us tonight. First up, we have Jason Primrose. He is the author. There you go. How's it going? He is the author and creator of Lost Children of Andromeda. Jason Primrose, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
And we also have VampySnow, owner of the Blurred Tribune, co-owner of Black Cosplay Boosters, seamstress, costume designer, and photographer, as well as one of our featured cosplayers for 28 Days of Black Cosplay. Thank you for coming on, Vampy.
Thank you for inviting me.
I love having you guys here. It all works for me. We had a little tech issue, but you know, I figured it out. How's everybody doing?
Doing pretty good. Pretty
Amazing.
good.
Well, you know, I'm alive, so I'm good.
Yeah. So prior to the show, Candy B gave me a bit of a worrisome scare. I don't scare easy. Thank you very much, Candy B.
Oh, now I know how to get you. Which is evil to think. Like medical issues, huh? All right. That's his weakness.
Yeah, we'll give him a call, to make his palms sweat or something. So, yeah.
No, I was cutting it close, but I'm here and so excited to just be able to share a platform with you where we can boost up our own, because I just don't feel like we get enough shine, especially in the respective fields that you guys are operating and pushing your art to. You just don't see us enough in the different, just multifaceted ways we need to be seen. So Again, I told you guys this off cameras, and I'm going to keep saying it throughout the show. I really appreciate you guys sharing your gift with everyone, but then sharing your time with us. So
yes,
it's going to be fun.
It's something that I created Blurred's Eye View for. It was a platform that needed to showcase more POC creatives in all facets. So this works perfectly. I wanted this. I'm glad you guys are able to come on. And thanks for coming on. And I hope everybody out there sees the work that you guys do. You know, so VampySnow, we'll start with you. Candy, you want to start it off with the questions, or better yet?
I was gonna say, if you want to jump into it, I thought you were going to the man.
Well, better yet, what we'll do is this. We'll do our news. We'll do our little news segments first. You know, there's been a lot to come out in the geek news universe this week. So right now, Sony confirms the titles of the new Spider-Man movie. So here's that. No Way Home. The way they I love how they brought it about by having the 3 stars walking out of a room, and Tom Holland says, well, when have I ever spoiled anything? And Zendaya says, like, the last movie, and they walk they walk past like a whiteboard, and it literally has Spider-Man No Way Home, and it has a bunch of Easter eggs on it, which I would love to go back over, and look and kind of pause and go through, because this is what us geeks do, and find out like what other things is this pointing at. Some of it was pointing fun of it, like they were saying Spider-Man phone home, Spider-Man can't go home again,
Yeah, the phone home was definitely for us, like born in late 70s, early 80s. Like the rest of them aren't gonna get it. They're gonna be like, E.T., huh?
Yeah. So what do you guys think about, and that's supposed to come out this year, as a matter of fact, Christmas, well, around Christmas.
Oh wow!
In theaters, in theaters
not
this year.
That.
Yeah, they're saying, we're not letting this one go streaming. Not yet.
Okay,
you're going to get this in the theater. It's later on in the year. I say, okay, go for it. What do you guys think?
We're gonna let the guests speak first, because we can talk all day. We're gonna let y'all talk.
Wait, of the title, or
the title. What do you think? What do you guys think is going with,
or even it being released in theaters? Like, how do you feel about all that during COVID?
I feel like the only way I'm going to risk my life is for the next Black Panther movie. Like,
we risked our life for Wakanda.
I don't need to risk my life to go see Tom Holland. But I love him.
You just said to see Tom Holland.
My life is important. No, I'm kidding. I mean, by December I might go. By December I might go. But the title seems cool. I don't know. It didn't grab me. I kind of saw it scrolled. I wasn't a big Spider-Man fan, so. But again, I love Tom Holland, so.
All the Spider-Man in the background.
Like, huh?
Right. Like, you need to watch your mouth.
Mute his mic. Everything I said before.
Like this, it's all out the window. It's all out the window now. So
just make Vampy bigger.
What do you think, Vampy? What do you take on the title?
I have to agree with Jason on that. I'm not a big fan of Spider-Man, but I'm
what happened here? It just fell apart so quick.
He never really grabbed my attention as like a hero. But I'm definitely going to see the movie because I've seen every other Spider-Man movie. So why wouldn't I not see this one in theaters? Absolutely not.
Yeah, no. It's with this monster that's still running rampant around here, it's the scales are really tipped, and it's really kind of, you're just like, oh, you gave it a title. Oh, it comes out later this year, but it's still COVID. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to get excited about. It's hard to get excited about those things. But I'm going to agree with Jason with the fact that the title didn't really grab me. It was crazy before they dropped it about 4 weeks ago or so. Me and my son were just talking about how the last movie ended on such a crazy note. And as you can see, we're fans. Let me tell you why Spider-Man's so great. Let's just sit down, children. Let me tell you. He's great.
Listen to Mama B.
He's not my favorite hero by far. Like, that belongs to someone in DC, but we beefing right now. But anyway, so I enjoyed following a character who seemed very much like, I don't know what I'm doing. And you don't get that a lot. So a lot of these characters, it's like, yeah, you're having a hard time, but all right, now you have these powers and boom, you just seem so confident in it. And you just don't get that from Peter, and especially with Tom Holland playing him, which in my opinion is the best Spider-Man. Yeah. He does both well, because there are some people that were great Peter Parkers, not a great Spider-Man, and vice versa. He's, to me, the best we have for both. Although I feel like Andrew was slept on, but that's another topic. But he did such a great job just relaying that innocence and that goofiness, and that I still don't know what the hell I'm doing. Even him spoiling stuff outside of the movie, it's almost like he's always in character. This is what it would be like if you were literally bit by a spider. So I live for it, and the villains are fun, and it's a great little universe. So I will agree with them. No, I'm not going to the movie theater unless I can do that thing where they say you can rent the movie theater, and it could be like me, my son, and my mama. You know what I mean? Like, I like to have the control of it's only us, and y'all just sprayed in here, right? Because I'm gonna come back. So that's what I would want. I wouldn't want it to be open, because then you got to think about the people that have never worn masks and could care less. And they're going to be out there standing in lines or trying to rent out a theater with you. And I don't trust people as often. Like, people weren't even washing their hands like that prior to this. So
right, exactly. So
nope.
Yeah, I'm on the fence. Number one, as far as the title, I'm not too surprised. I'm not surprised by the title, considering that the first one was Homecoming, second one was Far From Home. So I'm like, okay, Home's probably going to be the running theme here, and that's fine. Like Brandy, I do enjoy Tom Holland as playing this character. He seems to embody this, like she said, I don't know what the hell I'm doing vibe, and in and outside the character. I mean, he started doing his own stunts, so he's like really committed, to this role. As far as the character himself, I don't want to say he's not my favorite, but he's in my top 10 for the simple fact that I've read his stories for so long, and I can identify with the guy who's trying to get the girl, keep the job, trying to stay afloat as far as everything else is going, like financially, and still try to manage to keep everybody safe at the same time.
Right.
I read and for those out there who are watching or later on listening to the show, you were probably around when they first did the Clone Saga. At the time, him and MJ were married, and she was pregnant, and he was fighting Kane, which was like a perverted, like a mutated version of himself, clone version of himself. He was fighting several clones of Spider-Man, and he had a busted ankle. He actually broken his ankle. He had had it webbed up, was trying to keep everybody safe, trying to fight these clones. All the while, his wife is in labor across town, and all he can think of, his inner monologue is, I have to get to my wife. Everything else was like autopilot. He was on autopilot. He was just like, I have to get to MJ. And that really impressed me, between that and 9/11, where they did the whole black cover, and he's standing across the destruction of the twin towers, and this whole inner monologue was what the monologue was for the bulk of people in America. And it really spoke volumes. Like, he's a regular, despite everything else,
guy.
He's just a regular guy. So
him and Steve Rogers hit different when they have those inner monologues, and you're just like, you just relate to them, because everyone else just seems to have a natural confidence about them anyway. And then great, now you have a super suit. You didn't need the help. So those heroes that seem to have like needed the help, they just kind of, they hit different for me. But the movie's just still going to be good, but I still think it's pretty bold of them to say we're going in theaters, unlike everyone else. Just give it to us on the screen, or wait, give it to 2023. We're not doing anything else. So I promise you we'll be here.
So, in other news, we have Ta-Nehisi Coates and J.J. Abrams are working on a new Superman movie, and it looks like a reboot. I follow Ta-Nehisi Coates because he's written Black Panther, and he's written Captain America. He's an accomplished author. Some people don't like his style, but from what I've seen and what I've read in Black Panther, I've thoroughly enjoyed. And some people just, I don't know. They I don't know. Going through another reboot, I guess, for Superman. I mean, they got some good people. I have so much.
The sign.
He just
Collective.
inhale. Collective.
It's,
I want that as the caption. Collective sigh.
it's Warner Brothers. They do this to us. You know, you don't want to.
They do it to us, or do we do it to ourselves? Because if we pay
both.
for it, they gonna do it.
They gonna do it. They gonna do
it. Brings the money. They where the money resides.
It's a.
They said if y'all gonna pay for it, we gonna keep giving it to you.
But I have no problem with Henry Cavill. He was great.
Same.
Matter of fact, Man of Steel was on today, and I checked it out. It's just, I don't think Warner Brothers really knows what they have in their pocket. Like, they could do so much more, and DC is on board with doing that with me. Like we have here, we got one now. I just don't understand why for the reboot. I just don't think it's needed. It's kind of that thing, you're just like, can you still continue with what you have and salvage what you kind of broke down? I don't know.
That might be hard to do when you still have somebody who's a relevant star playing an iconic role. Henry's not doing anything wrong. Henry loves the role. He's been very vocal about it, even while filming The Witcher. He's like, no, I'm still Superman. Yeah. And even with people saying, hey, he needs to be black, Michael B. Jordan, which no. But they're wanting, listen, it's one thing to look good. It's another thing to act good. You don't act well. You don't act well. You look great. You don't act well. I don't know when he's all yoked up. Okay, but other than that,
I can't say anything.
He may end up looking like one of those people, one of those actors that gets in the suit and they look like someone cosplaying the character instead of being the character. You know what I mean? It may read as that, depending on anybody you cast in a suit. You know what I mean? You'd hate it to be like, all right. And then so far, what we've been getting from most of our superhero films, it's like, wow, the casting choices have been fantastic. And DC can't afford any more L's. You're just not in a position to. Animated movies, like we've said, are fantastic. Y'all can't take no more L's.
Yeah.
With the real.
I mean, if you really want to be honest with you, stay with your animated, stay with your live action television shows, because they're doing well. They're so much to say on that. Their big feature films are just like, oh, you hope, and nothing.
Can I just say one?
You can say what you want.
Yeah.
I said the one thing about Superman thing. Okay, look, here's my thing about the reboots. First of all, Ta-Nehisi Coates is like legendary, and he writes across so many different genres. So it's really cool to see him taking that skill into comics, into film. And first of all, I don't know about a black Superman. I just don't know that we need a black Superman. We have new heroes. We have new characters that are being created consistently.
Yes.
We have new heroes inside the universe that have their own stories. So like, why are we not raising up the stories that are unique to the characters, rather than trying to take a character franchise and like reinvent them in some other way? Right. I mean, I love Superman, but we could have a Cyborg movie, or something. I don't know. We
got Cyborg. We could have John Green.
Yeah.
There's so many other black superheroes that also do not have the name that start with black. That we can have movies on.
Yeah.
That part.
I mean, we're in our final season of Black Lightning, and which, in my honest opinion, is a great show. I love what they're doing with that show. I love the message they're sending with that show. Yeah, they're doing great stuff with the show, and it's just their last season for whatever reason, and I've heard opposite sides say, oh, why does it have to be this? I'm like, because that's Jefferson Pierce. That's Black Lightning. That's what needs to be talked about,
Yeah. And it's weird. I find it weird when that bothers people. And typically we end up dealing with situations where it's bothering someone who's not of that POC crowd.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is a way of life for a lot of us. There's a conversation in like maybe 6 months to a year I'm going to have with my own Black son about how to navigate certain things in the world just based off of how people are going to look at him. And he's a sweetheart, but I also know because you're going to be bigger, you're going to be seen as a threat, right? Mm-hmm. You're not going to be looked at as the average 14-year-old, 16-year-old. It's just not the same stories. So when we have something like Black Lightning or really anything, and they take moments to talk about our hair or just social injustices that happen, that's real life for us. That's not a comic book storyline. It makes sense to put that in the storyline, just like many other characters have done. They've done the same thing. So I think it's weird when it triggers other people. I'm like, maybe it's a projection thing, and this causes you to look at kind of maybe the ugly within your own self, and you don't like that. So you'd rather say, let's not make everything about race. Let's just enjoy the fantasy world. Or
ignore it.
They want to ignore it, and we don't get to ignore it. We live it. So
exactly,
it is weird that show just abruptly is ending. I don't know what happened.
Actually, no. I think I know why that happened.
Oh,
the woman that plays the daughter.
Yeah, China.
Yeah.
I think she wanted to go on this like holistic wellness retreat. Like she wanted a break.
Yeah.
And they couldn't do anything about it. So
she's like she's in the show in limited form for this season. And then I've seen her post for that where she was going. I think it was like a 16-minute thing she was doing. It was nothing bad. It was absolutely nothing bad. This was just a personal thing she was trying to convey, and she was trying to, she just needed, like you said, Jason, she needed kind of a break. She needed to breathe. She's walking her path, and that's fine. I think it did kind of shoehorn the writers. They probably it sounded like they had more planned for her and the older sister, but they couldn't really do it without her. So it kind of messes with the dynamic and everything else. So, and that's fine. And I mean, we got 4 seasons of a great show that has a great message and continues to have a great message. So, big ups to those guys out there, doing Black Lightning. In other Superman news, Superman and Lois season 1, episode 1 premiered this week. And if you've watched it, Tyler Hoechlin, who plays Superman for the TV series on CW for Supergirl and the crossovers for, like Crisis on Infinite Earths, has been highly praised as being like a great television version of Superman. He embodies this. It's something different. Henry Cavill is great for the films. Tyler Hoechlin seems to be great for the shows. It gives this whole different dynamic. And Superman and Lois is really him and Lois. They're married and they're raising 2 teenage sons, twin boys. And it's different to have this family dynamic. How one of the greatest heroes in the world can handle all this other stuff, but how does he handle being a father? How does he handle one son having social anxiety disorder and the other son seeming to be like the perfect son? And it's a very good dynamic. Like the first episode is like an hour and a half. It's pretty much a movie. It's an hour and a half. Yeah, it's pretty much a movie. It's like an hour and a half. And it's great. It's actually a great, just the first episode alone. I'm like, this is actually really good. It's well written. So I don't think, did you guys see any of it or seen him in prior form on CW?
I mean, I'm always going to be a Smallville fan, but that was just my generation.
This all makes sense now. He doesn't like Spider-Man. He enjoyed Smallville. This is all making sense. All makes sense now. I'm a purist. I enjoyed Lois and Clark from like the 90s. I loved that campy. It was almost like the same energy that David Boreanaz and Old Girl gave us in Bones, but that's what that reminded me of. And I lived for so good. When I saw Angel had another show, I said, I know that's right. You better follow the check. And that show is, I didn't get into it until like way later because I'm that person. And I was like, how did how did I miss this show? Like on point. Such a great show. So we're plugging that. If you haven't watched it, it's on Amazon Prime is where I'm binging now too.
You can catch him on Navy SEALs too. He's on Navy SEALs now.
He stays working.
Yeah.
David Boreanaz has the same kind of pull that Nathan Fillion has with Firefly fans. It's like wherever Nathan Fillion goes, the fans follow. It's true.
That's a nice pull to have because you're always going to work. Like I bring in viewership.
Yeah, there it is. But Tyler Hoechlin has he's appeared on on Supergirl several times. He's appeared on the Crisis on Infinite Earths. He was on one of the crossovers for Flash and I believe Arrow. Every time he's shown up as the Clark or Superman persona, he shines, because everybody has this hang up like, oh God, we have another guy playing a Superman. Let's see how he does. And he kind of pulls it off. He pulls it off. Like it's all opening line. Like when he's talking about the opening scene is when he's talking about him coming up and going out in the world and actually becoming Superman. The first time you see him in the suit is like that classic suit with the black background and the big bold S. And he's saving a kid from getting hit by a green car, which is like Action Comics #1. And the kid says, "Oh, thanks, mister." And he says, "Cool suit." And Superman responds, "Thanks, my mom made it for me." And he takes off. And it's like such a cool line because you're just like, "Oh, we're having that show. That's good."
It's really cool.
So I hope that show succeeds, because they are, let me see, they're actually canceling Supergirl. This is their last season as well.
What took them so long?
Once they switched networks, I don't think they knew what to do with it after a while.
I can't get into it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, except for John Cryer playing Lex Luthor, which was surprisingly good. So
that seems like a hard role to have somebody cast in, and you would think it wouldn't be hard, but I guess as soon as you're trying to have something like a reboot and you're looking like who can I get longevity from, so who's maybe like young and relevant, I think that just makes things smaller and smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have been great? Old boy from the GOAT of a show, Daredevil, who played Kingpin. He's great in everything.
God, he's just a great actor.
Vincent
D'Onofrio is a great actor.
God.
Period. So
he would have been a great Lex Luthor because same. He already got
you play big, bald, scary guys. He's
pretty much that part. He would play scary smart well because Lex is scary smart. It's like that type of thing, not like
It's possible that he was probably approached about it, but he probably just didn't want to be typecast.
And that's completely understandable.
He's like, why does everyone think I'm scary? Well, ever since I saw you in Men in Black, you've scared me.
You've been scary, right? In other DC news, Damaris Lewis has revealed her Blackfire revealed for Titan season 3.
Oh, I'm so excited for that. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for that.
Let me see if I can get that to come up here.
All right, Vampy, you got 2 days to respond.
I'm telling you, when Starfire dropped, I was like, you know what, Amazon, let me buy a white bodysuit. I'm gonna paint this. Got my designs already.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Can't wait to see that.
This is the look they're going. This is the look they have for her. This is
I love it.
This looks good. This looks good.
It does. It looks so beautiful.
And the hair sets it off. The hair sets it off.
And it's just not Blackfire, it's Starfire, it's Monica Rambeau, it's General Okoye and Queen Ramonda and Shiri. I don't know what's going on, but this whole Crush thing I've got going, all the sisters and all, I'm just like, I think I got a type. Strong, loving the hair or lack thereof, and still kicking ass and taking names later, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Take a moment, have some water.
Hey, the water.
Hydrate.
You're
good.
I think I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay. DC should have been here for that one. He caught on to Titans kind of late, and he watched it. He binged the 2 seasons, and he's texting me. He's like, I didn't know. I'm like, dude, I was trying to tell you, it's that good. It's good.
It's so good.
You know,
I have like certain characters that I don't really care for, and I kind of want them like die, but you know,
not die.
I love how she says it.
It's just so okay. So, Jason Todd and Slade's daughter. Every time they're on the screen, I'm just like,
Well, Jason Todd has always rubbed people the wrong way. He just always had a thing
historically.
You know?
But like, it's still good. It's still a very good show.
Yeah, it is. I'm looking forward to it. I'm waiting to see what they have up their sleeve, you know, because the way they left it off with season 2 just makes you say, "Oh my God, what else could you possibly do?" And look at it. Alicia says it. She said, "I'm in love." That says it right there.
Badass outfit. I love
You know.
seeing Black women look fierce, and I love seeing more of us. Let's even talk about casting a little deeper. I like seeing Black women who I look at and instinctively I'm like, okay, you're Black. And that's no shade to someone who's mixed or lighter. It's just we know Hollywood likes to cast racially ambiguous people in place of a Black woman. So when you say she's going to be undeniably Black, oh, and here's some dreads, or oh, this is a fro. We're not going to try to give you any type of other hair to make it more easy to digest for everyone else watching. You're going to see her just as she is. And I love that we're getting that in droves in different shows, because I swear, like, just the hair alone is its own character, and it just brings something completely different to seeing the suits. Like, that's the first thing I looked at, and we got all this chrome and shoulder and everything else. But
like, I really appreciate the fact that they are not half naked. I love that so much. I love it. They're covered. They're fully covered, and they still look beautiful.
Definitely still sexy.
I mean, from Misty Knight in the Luke Cage Netflix series to Tiana Paris playing Monica Rambeau, who just don't get me going there. I'm loving all of it. I'm loving.
What you have, Jason? Were you gonna say something?
No, I was just gonna say Monica's my whole life. I mean, like she we'll talk about it later, but let's just say that Monica and Dr. Florence, like that's what I always envisioned for Florence, was like
that's probably why I like her so much.
Badass. Like, I'm not playing with any of y'all. I don't care.
I know that's right.
And who you think you are, but I'm gonna do what I need to do regardless. I love
they're doing great stuff with our sisters, and I'm here all for it. I'm all here for it. Thank God. It's well past time.
Man, listen, we've been given the same looking women to look at over and over again. And don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed it because I've kind of been forced to. So of course I was in love with Buffy Summers, but I'll never forget when I first saw Kendra. And I'm like, there's a girl here with braids and a ponytail, and she can kill vampires too. Can we get a whole season with her? Can we have a whole another thing with her?
Not like 3 or 4 episodes. Yeah, I
remember being really, really. They could have been her, Gunn. They could have just put them in another universe, and I would have been fine with it.
It sucks that we, as Black people, because Black people get it a lot, where we have to just be happy with the little taste of representation that we get, and we don't have the same opportunities as like white people where they could play anyone. Look at Scarlett Johansson and Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah,
no shade, but all the shade.
Yeah, there you go. Yes. All right. So that's our news segment. I can wax.
She meant that. I'm not mad, girl.
I can wax poetic about all of what she just said and love every minute of it, because
like, speak your truth.
We don't get it that much. We did get them in pieces and just had to take it in as best we could. Now if they can just figure that out with Storm and quit pissing around.
But wait a minute, I'm gonna let them take their time with that pastor. I'm gonna let them take their time.
Oh, please take your time.
They have to take their time.
Take their time, because they already know if you pull that crap again, like you did with Miss Ship, I can't. Okay, and that girl may be phenomenal in other things, but my Storm, you are not. And I hate sounding like that type of fan. I'm like, no Storm of mine. But again, that was another character where you look at, and I'm just like, first of all, I know you the baddest because you caused a whole storm and your hair is still perfect. Like your hair is still perfect. I said Jean Grey could never. Your hair is still perfect. That was the moment I knew she was an Omega chick because your hair is still perfect and you lighten people up and you have a presence about yourself, whether you are in the comic books or whether we got to see you in the fabulous 90s series that just I feel like cemented icon status for her. Like as soon as you are, it's just regal, just everything about that character.
And
it's
that's
like
how I've always read her, as even in the comics I've always read her very queen.
Very queen, which is why in the comics when they tried to do her and Logan, I'm like, she's a queen. No shade to Logan, but I'm like, girl,
not
if you don't call T'Challa and figure this out.
not the dwarf as the child called it, not the dwarf.
Oh no, that's somebody you see on the low and you don't go public with him. You just be like, yeah, Logan, just look, I'll call you later, but we're the banquet, okay? I told you I was going to Wakanda. I'm busy. That's what you do.
I still love that where this was after they had their annulment and everything, and it was some time later. And she comes back. It's always her and T'Challa, no matter what. It always comes down to those two, and
as it should.
And if you can see the background, as it should. And she comes to visiting, and the first thing he says is, "I smell him on you." And I was just like, in most cases, that sounds weird, but if you know his power set, he can't help but to smell.
And then to be bold enough to say it, you big mad, but hi to you too. Thanks for picking me up.
But see, that goes
crazy.
But see, that goes back to the dynamic those two have. I love like what Ta-Nehisi Coates does with that with those two characters, because it seems like wherever there's trouble afoot, and it looks like it's getting ready to boil over, they are each other's center. No matter what, like if she's in trouble, he's on it. If he's in trouble, she's on it. Like that's a support system. Even in one of the latest issues, she's talking to Nakia, and in so many words, like the conversation they're having was like, because he had lost his memory, he was on another planet and all this other stuff, and Storm says to Nakia, I know what happened with you two, because they're not together, but she's like, I know what happened with you two. That was another time. That was another place. This is now. And like the conversation.
Period.
Yeah, it was
you
just
forgot
like,
the period because period
no
was
cap.
after
Like no cap. It's just like you might not want to like Nakia. I don't care what you know. Don't go here with Storm, because she's gonna be like, look, no matter what, it's always me.
That's basically what she said. Yeah. Like, I hope you enjoyed yourself, because I'm here now. Hello.
Yeah. So, I love what they do with this character. I'm trusting Kevin Feige, who I've been, adoringly been calling the chess master and the blueprint king, on putting these pieces together. So, like you said, Candy, don't rush it.
Yeah. Take your time.
Take your time. Find the right people. Find the right person.
Get your casting together.
Get your casting together. Exactly.
Get your story together.
Get your costume together.
Get your costume together. Get your actors on point.
Because if they skip on anything, we're going to tear them apart. And I don't know if it was you, Chris, or someone else that said if they do it right, this could be like the first $3 billion. Like this could just really break open some box office doors. Go ahead.
Let's face it.
But this is my issue: is X-Men was always everyone's favorite comic, and like somehow we were convinced that we liked the Avengers, but like I never really fucked with them when I was a kid. So I'm just like, wait a minute, am I confused? Because from what I remember,
he's like, I was at the meeting,
like at all. X-Men has always been my experience. So you got them over here doing all this whatever is going on that I can't be a part of or be aligned with. But I watch movies because I really like the characters. But then we got this like masterful Avengers thing that's like weaving all these stories together, and now you have me convinced that I'm like, I like this group of like fairly boring, squares.
Is that fairly boring?
No, when he says it like that's
the
true.
Diversity and
It's
like
true.
wildness of X-Men. So they know that though. You put X-Men out and it's over. Like no,
it's a wrap.
Well, if they put X-Men out.
What?
They put it out how it was really being put out, and they're gonna have some problems because all those people that don't like to talk about social issues. Spoiler alert.
That's what the X-Men were.
Yeah. Oh my god.
When Stan helped create that universe.
I went back and watched the 90s cartoon again, which I just catch clips and stuff.
You have to.
That
way ahead of its time.
Was almost not for kids. The protest,
what do you mean almost?
The signs, no more mutants. And they had like attacks on the Capitol and the president getting kidnapped by sentinels. That was some serious television.
I wonder when my anxiety started. It was started in the 90s. My anxiety started so every Saturday morning.
Everything to me is like
I can't believe they just did this again.
Yeah. Everything now is light, but like that, if they took the movies and pulled from that blueprint, oh my gosh.
It would be pretty intense, and I'd be here for it.
Yeah,
if they did it like that, though, because like you said, get your story together. I would hate for us to have like whatever our version of the perfect storm would be, because there's been some names that were thrown out that I'm like, oh, I can't get with, and then some other actresses where I'm like, I'd love this, but I don't feel like she'd do it. Like old girl who played Tara in True Blood. I like her, but I also feel like she's not a person to just take anything to take it, and she seems like a person that's like, I like to act, but doesn't have to really be my whole life. And her personal life is super low key. Whoever went into a role like this, you're going to be amplified. And I think some of the actresses would have to sit back and say, do I really want that? Is this something, because whether it does well or not, it's going to come back on me. And these fans nowadays are crazy, and they're going to be in your comments and all type of stuff, just wreaking havoc. And so that's something to think about too. Like, could you handle that? I wish we could just get Angela Bassett to just Angie.
When Black Panther was coming out and they were showing like all the trailers and everything, and they kept showing the scene where they're up in Wundagore Mountain going to see M'Baku, and she has the braids, and fans of Storm went nuts. They was just like, is she Storm? I'm like, it's not Storm, it's not her. But damn, does she not look like her?
Though. What
they play
Storm and oh my god!
And the thing is, years ago, like when Wizard had a magazine, they used to do like a fantasy fan cast for their film, and she was part of that fan cast for Storm. Like, she embodies Aurora. She just does.
It's her.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
refused the role too.
Yeah. And I think it did better for her. She still ended up in the Marvel universe. Like, it no matter what. It didn't matter. It still came around full circle.
And she still does some really cool like fantasy roles, because she's great on American Horror Story. Like, I'm like, you got a voodoo queen. It's Angela. Like, what are you talking about? Give me a whole separate thing with her. I'll watch that all day.
Somebody did a fake fan poster of that character she played, and I'm like, damn it, if they do that season,
I would love that.
God, I loved her when she was in that season, and then when they brought her back, I'm like, yes.
I'm like, even when she kills people, she's so cool.
I'm like thinking of, sorry, when you said she may have turned down the role, I'm literally imagining her like getting the script for the first X-Men with Ian McKellen and all them, and being like, wait a minute. Is this the line? What happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything. Oh, what the hell is this shit? I'm not doing this.
What do you think this is?
She pulls a Viola Davis, grabs her purse. I'm out.
Right. When she read that line, she was like, I'm sorry.
She probably did do like Viola Davis, just grab the purse. Was like, I'm out of here. You called me in here for this.
Yes, just no, ma'am. Thank you for the consideration, but no, thank you. I love that Holly read it and was like, yeah, sure. Why not? Whatever. I'm like, girl, no.
There was so much they could have done.
Now that I think about it, Holly had 2 strikes, because how you do us like that with Storm and Catwoman?
I don't want to talk about Catwoman.
Yeah.
Catwoman.
but you were perfectly fine in John Wick.
I don't want to talk about Catwoman. That was terrible.
Even her work in like Gothica, which is still one of my favorite films from her. I'm like, you were really good in this. I don't know why you don't stay in this kind of genre, because for some reason this works for you, and maybe because she has to fight against the pretty, which is not her fault. You're gorgeous, so naturally people are going to want to see you in a certain way doing a certain thing. But I'm like, this was good for you.
Good. Yeah, it is probably one of my favorite horror films.
That was
type film. So
I was not expecting her to turn it out, and she basically had to carry it, and she did. So I'm like, we know you can act, girl. What's going on?
It's like, is it your agent? Is it something?
Yeah, because your skill isn't in question, but it's you really let them put these wigs on you.
The best thing about the Catwoman costume. Yeah, that
was the selling point for people, and I'm just like, you can't have someone like Eartha Kitt, and you can't have someone like and I'm Michelle Pfeiffer just embody these roles so much so where we're talking decades after they've had these costumes on, we're still like, hey, that's top 2. That's who you look at when you talk about Catwoman.
Right.
Nobody else matters. I couldn't go into that role in one except those wigs. But but 2, look at the script and be like, I'll suck down this fish real fast. Sure. That's a part of the script. What? None of this. And then how you let Sharon Stone outdo? Sharon Stone should have been Catwoman.
If you want to play the role, like
you should have played it better.
And then it had no tie to the Batman universe at all.
As it shouldn't have. Yes, it was a mess. They knew better. They knew better.
You played a whole totally new character. So I'm like, so you're just gonna say it's a whole nother Catwoman? Okay.
We're gonna see what Zoe does, though. We're gonna see.
Yeah. So we are at the part where we talk to our guests. We interview our guests. We check out what they want. So first up, we have VampySnow. VampySnow is the owner of the Blur Tribune, co-owner of Black Cosplay Boosters, seamstress, costume designer, photographer, and as I stated earlier, one of our featured 28 Days of Black Cosplay featurettes. Tell me, Vampy, first tell everybody about the Blur Tribune. What is that?
So the Blur Tribune, the Blur Tribune was started a while ago by Nerds with Melanin. It's one of Black Cosplay Boosters' parent companies. They started the Blur Tribune with the goal for it's just to be a focal point of everything, all blurred news. So like articles, tutorials, reviews, everything from our point of view, like as a Black person, from our point of view, and not from like someone else's point of view, or just like, I can't really relate to that. I don't see how that appeals to me. And then it went on pause just because they had a bunch of other stuff that they wanted to focus on. And I came on and I told them, well, I actually do want to come out with a magazine, like not now, but like in the future for like cosplayers and just have like tutorials and stuff like that. Cute. And they asked me if I wanted to take it over. And I said, yeah, of course I can. That's obviously what I want to do. So I expanded onto that, and I want it to be a hub of everything blurred and non-nerd. So like hair tutorials, health, fitness, just somewhere, a safe space where all of us can go to get information.
All right. And you know what? Earl gives the thumbs up. Well, the muscle up in the fire. And that's true. I smell a team up in the future between Blur Tribune and Blur's Eye View. Now we had your partner, Chris Dixon, who's known as Mr. Tetris Cosplay, on a couple of weeks ago. So tell, for those who didn't see that show, and they should, so go check it out on YouTube or on Apple, or Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and tell everybody about Black Cosplay Boosters.
So, Black Cosplay Boosters. That actually started between Chris and I when we just got angry that cosplayers were not getting enough, Black cosplayers were not getting enough spotlight in the cosplay community. Because as if you guys didn't know, he's a foam smith, and he would always mention how he thought he was the only black foam smith that also cosplayed, just because he doesn't really see that a lot. And I would show him people, and then sometimes he would see like little snippets of other people, and he was like, "Yo, man, this really sucks." And I would tell him, "Yeah, black people get a lot of racist comments. We don't get the spotlight as much, or if we do, it's always the same 5 black cosplayers." And no shade to them at all, because like they're all good at what they do, but like we just want to see more people, and we don't want them to all look the same. We don't want someone thin, we don't want someone light skinned that's always in the spotlight. Like there are black people who are darker, there are black people who are plus size, there are males, and they don't get the spotlight. So we wanted to create black cosplay boosters with that in mind. And we also wanted to incorporate utilities.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't know, a utility is an aid to a cosplayer. So like our foam smith, our 3D printers, our photographers, our graphic artists, our managers, cosplay handlers. Cosplay handler they help a lot at conventions. Like if
they're the unsung. They're unsung.
Yeah, unsung heroes.
They're really saviors. Oh my God, they're saviors. If I'm in full armor and someone stops me and they're like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" I have to like scramble around. Where can I put my stuff? Where can I put my stuff? And thankfully, they're there. They are there to help and remind me, take your glasses off, take your badge off. I'll hold them, and just little stuff like that. They would help me. Remind me to drink water, help me to eat.
Yeah.
Stuff you're not thinking about.
As cosplayers, me and Candy, we can tell you, we know all about the needing a handler. I remember doing Wizard World a few years ago, and I went as Nick Fury, and had the eye patch. I met Elizabeth Henstridge from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and was in the picture, had the Tesseract, and completely forgot to take off my glasses. Took a picture and everything, and I'm just like, this was one of those moments where I needed a handler to say, "Hey, take your glasses off." I was so excited. I was so excited.
If your kid goes with you, make
it's
them.
the little things that you tend to forget when it comes to pictures. Right.
Yeah. See, Earl says, "I know hella black cosplayers," and she's right. I'm on IG a lot, and outside of black pages, the mainstream cosplay pages all have stick thin white girls or Asians and don't really highlight black cosplayers at all. This is very true.
I was at a convention last year. I'm not going to say the name of the convention. I'm not going to.
You can tell us later, girl.
But I was at a convention with some of my other cosplayer friends. He just so happened to be a guest, and we were also a guest there, like as a group. And we had a booth there. When we got there, I noticed that every other cosplayer guest was small, white, and thin. He was the only black cosplayer who was also a male. Every other cosplay guest looked the same. It was very disappointing to see that, and I pointed it out to him. He was like, "Wow, I didn't even notice that." I was like, "Yeah."
Because they make it so normal. I should say. Yeah.
That's the pyramid that you even see, because I know in society it kind of runs almost the same way, where if we're going off of importance, and we're not saying we believe that here, it's just when you pay attention, it's like white male, white female, and then it trickles down everyone else. Mm-hmm. So cosplay world seems to be thin white female, white male, black male, or Asians above that. And then you have the black male, but if it's going to be a black male, you better be really yoked up, or you know what I mean? You better have like, or they not going to be fooling with you. And then it's everybody else. And it's not that I have like an issue seeing people do cosplay on their own level, because I'm always impressed and think it's cool when people do it. I am just always going to give more props to those of us who weren't thought of when the character was designed, which is a lot of these people. And we don't fit those molds. Like some of us are, like you said, really bigger, or bigger legs, or a bigger stomach, or a wider back. Like I'm not this character. My hair is different. My nails are different. But I feel like that's also why we should get more praise and attention, because we are doing stuff like I cosplay as Ariel, furthest thing from it. Well, not anymore, because we got that too.
Right?
But I can't wait. I got a dreaded wig on the way. I'm like, you better kill it, Holly, which I know she will. But anyway, purposely doing characters that are traditionally white is kind of my thing, because I like when the little kids can see someone that looks like you dressed as someone else that you adored too, because there's always that staple of characters everybody liked growing up, and they just don't reflect us. So I love that you were able to point that out to him, because it's crazy how you'll just be so used to seeing it that he didn't even realize, wow, I'm the only chocolate chip in the cookie. Look at this panel. And they're not going to pay attention to it unless we make more of a fuss or create something for ourselves. And then that starts to draw attention and money. Then it's like, oh, there's money here, because unfortunately people are going to follow where the money goes and then start paying more attention to it. But I like that you said something.
I always look at stuff like that. I don't think it's fair to say that you want to include representation, but you won't advertise it.
Yeah. So it's
and then when someone points it out to you, you get an attitude.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let's show some of your work right here. This is just some of the work you do. And it's amazing. Your seamstress work is...
Come on, Sally.
I don't even have words. It's amazing.
Was for Sally. A lot of people think that took me a long time, but I actually made that in a week, and I got the idea when I was Skyping with one of my friends. And I was like, yo, I really want to cosplay as Sally, but I don't want to like do her regular dress. And I was staring at my witch hats, because I also make witch hats and I sell them and stuff. And I was like, yo, I could do a witch version of Sally. So I just came up with the design right away, and I started planning everything, and that's how I did it.
It's amazing.
I love it.
I love what you guys are doing over at Black Cosplay Boosters. It's given me so much more hope out there for other cosplayers of color. Here's Alicia's. Here's Earl. Here's Earl.
The thing about Black Cosplay Boosters, what I have noticed and what other people have been saying to me as well, is that they feel very safe posting in it, because we don't get any negativity. You don't have to worry about someone going in the comments of one of your pictures saying, you don't look like the character. Cosplay, this character is white. You're not white. Or you don't have to worry about someone saying, this isn't very good. Like, just little stuff like that.
I'm glad. I appreciate the platform that you're using, and there's others like yourself and Chris and myself with Blur's Eye View, Hellspawn Cosplay. There's Smoke, Nightmares. There's a lot of guys who are putting that platform out there, saying no, head nerds in charge. They're all saying, it's more out there. There are so many more of us out there who are really putting so much great quality work out there. Even the beginners I'm seeing, I'm just like, that's a beginner.
Those
and
beginners,
they look great.
They're doing their homework. I'm like, that was not how I came out 5 years ago. Y'all came on the scene. I'm like, you did. I've seen some people like, this is my first cosplay, and their first cosplay out the gate is a mashup. I waited like 3 years. I was like, I think I'm ready for a mashup. They're like, I'm coming out swinging, and I love it. I love it. So
also our second guest is Jason Primrose, who also has a Kickstarter for his project, and for every copy pledged, he is donating one copy to his partner organization, the Brotherhood Crusade, as part of their book club initiative, championing literacy and creativity in underprivileged youth. This is Jason Primrose. His book is The Lost Children of Andromeda. So thank you for coming on, Jason. I'll put that Kickstarter.
Hello. Thank you.
Yes,
thank you
get
for
that Kickstarter.
So tell us about that.
What do you want to know? What do you want to know?
I like your
Andromeda is a lifelong journey. Let me just tell you. I always keep this near me, but this is the first book that I wrote. I was 10. These are my little characters. You can see them. Oh, my characters. And so interestingly enough, I was a big reader. I like to read books
There's a Kickstarter link.
When I was a kid, and I read a book called Jeremy Thatcher, Dragon Hatcher, and he went to this other world and found these dragons and like hatched a dragon, and I was like, this story isn't over yet. So I made my own version with a black Jeremy and dragons, and that just like blossomed into this whole big universe that like literally wouldn't let me go for over 20 years. So when I was about 15, I wrote 8 stories, changed the name. His name was Jordan then. And it's in dragons and aliens and other planets and civilizations and things. And then I put it down. I went to be an adult, started working in marketing and strategy. And then I was so not happy. I was just like, this isn't what I want to do with my life. But if I could do anything with my life, what would it be? And then I picked up this book. My mom sent it to me from Virginia. And I was like, that's what we're doing. We're bringing to life the series. I don't know what it's called anymore, but all the characters are the same. And so then I started like rewriting and everything in about 2013. Wow. And now it's like coming to life kind of in a way that I imagine I always wanted, but never believed was possible.
So I'm going to show a quick little trailer for the lost children of Andromeda. Here it is now. And come on up there. Yeah. There you go. Now, your main character gives me Huey vibes. I love that. I love that. You know, the hair, the sister with the sword. Oh my god!
Hair.
I seen you on Head Nerds in Charge, and I pledged. By the way.
Yes. He's like on the spot too.
Yeah, when I seen it, I'm just like
in the comments.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta get in on this action. For those who have not seen it, I'm gonna show the Kickstarter link again. Where you at?
Pay the man.
Pay the man. Pay the man.
Pay the man.
There it is. There's the link for the Kickstarter project. Please join in. Where are you at now with the Kickstarter? Because I know you were at 50% a couple of earlier this week. I'm not mistaken.
I'm almost at 60%, so I think we're getting close to 21,000.
Okay.
I was like, oh my gosh, like
mind blowing.
So
when the dream is there and the passion is there, it all syncs together.
And so the book club piece was interesting because what we did was last year we piloted a book club program with some friends of mine. And I was just looking for, honestly, like beta reader feedback. And so we read a set of chapters every week and then had discussions around the chapters. But there were these questions my friend came up with that were very self-reflective. And so we were so impacted by the 12-week reading experience where we got really connected to each other. And I was like, who else could benefit from something like this? And so it wasn't really about like going to stores or like selling a bunch of books, but it was like, how can we create an ecosystem where people are like really talking about like what they're feeling, what makes them feel powerful, like what they're going through, whatever. So partnered up with Brotherhood Crusade to do a pilot program and went through that last summer. And when I tell you the way that, the youth opened up and from the beginning kind of being quiet, and they were paired with like mentor figures. My mom was actually in the group, and then other people that would work with nonprofits or had startup businesses. One was a friend of mine that has a tech startup, and to where she became the voice, like she was dropping the mic. Like we would just end because she would summarize the entire like theme in a sentence, and we're like, okay. Well,
we're good here.
We're good. So we're doing that again. And I'm also looking to partner with other organizations like the West Learning Center in LA. And I've reached out to a few other organizations as well because basically what we want to do is have people getting the books for free. the youth getting the books for free, and then starting these book clubs all around May when the Kickstarter rewards go out.
That's
and
great.
then run them through the summertime.
Now, what are you have different tiers in the Kickstarter, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots
So let's get that link back up so we can get some people to pledge on this thing, because once again, this is a POC creator project, and it's a passion project, and this speaks volumes to our people. So let's get that out there. Tell everybody about the tiers that you have.
So I know one of the main tiers is the limited edition hardcover, and that I don't think I have gave you the new cover. I know you put one in the square.
Okay.
But if you have it, you can show it. Yeah, so the limited edition hardcover. We have the digital ebook, full color, because there are images in the novel. We have prize packs with the physical book, and then merchandise, posters. We have little digital cards that are like foil stamped that are each of the different characters. We have a reward pack that's a t-shirt, limited edition hardcover, the 8 character cards, bookmarks, and things like that. So there's all these kind of like fandom packs. One of my other favorite ones that we did was a collaboration pack. And so there are people that I know that are like really into nerd things, but they don't know about all the different independent creators that are out there. So we partnered with CNS Comics, Concrete Comics, Street Team. I don't know if you all know who Sean Allen is, but Street Team, they have 3 issues, and then Decimation Earth. And so we have an indie comic pack, and then they also get both of my books in it as well. And so that one's great, because if you're just first being introduced to like a set of indie creators, like this is like, here's the world, get in with these people, and then continue to dive in deeper. They have 2nd issues, 3rd issues that you can buy. Follow them, support them. So that was like a really nice come together moment. That is also one of the popular packages.
Let's see here. Let's see if we have it.
Not that it was bad seeing her again.
Oh no. Yeah, delete that one. That's not the one I need. But yeah, tell them more about why I find that. I think I have that image. So I'm digging that one up now.
Okay.
Tell them about Lost Children. What is there it is. The premise behind it.
Yeah. So 2050 Z Time and Salvation is the book that I'm currently finishing up. And it follows Alistair Adams, who is an evolutionary. And he's trying to find his place and his power in a world that's about to end. There's about 215 days until the apocalypse is set to hit. They don't know exactly what's going to happen, but they know that if they find these alien artifacts, that they can stop the apocalypse from happening. So Alistair teams up with other evolutionaries, and they go against an elusive enemy in a race to find the artifacts before the world ends.
This is
just another Tuesday.
Yeah, just another Tuesday.
Just another Tuesday.
Quit quoting Buffy.
Then, yeah.
But I love the premise behind it. I love that there's more stories. This is why I created this platform. I just love hearing stories from our people. And I'm quoting Tyler Perry, like, there's so much more we have to offer. Mm-hmm. So many of our stories that we can tell, and it doesn't always have to be the drama. It can always be the action hero. It can always be the superhero. It doesn't have to be the sidekick or just the equal, for that matter. It can be its own set thing, which is why I look at stories like what you have coming out, Jason, Milestone Comics with Static and all of that stuff. Like, thank God that restarted,
for sure.
It needed to be done. It needed to be said. And I appreciate having that on there. So like I said, when I seen you on Head Nerds in Charge and you were talking about it, I said, I'm pledging right now. So I want this brother, not only do I want this book, I want this brother to get this out there so I can see it. So I'll put that link up one more time. Everybody get out there.
Yeah, he
Get into
checking
these
my phone.
characters.
Yeah.
and like the book nerd in me was like limited edition.
Yeah.
Sometimes you hear that and you're like, how much do you want?
Yeah, that's the link.
Can you
for
wait
that.
till Friday?
Right.
Yeah,
I really
every
appreciate what you
little
said,
bit
too.
helps. Every little bit
Yeah,
helps.
absolutely.
You know, jump on this Kickstarter project. Go ahead, and jump on that, and you know, as you see, for every copy pledge, he's donating one copy to his partner organization, the Brotherhood Crusade, as part of their book club initiative, championing literacy and creativity in underprivileged youth. So,
and the more we get him out there in stories like this and images like this, because I'm big on pushing the image. Because if you ever decide to do your own research what happened when a movie about in the 1920s or 30s came out called Birth of a Nation. And then you can have a conversation about how important imagery is. And a lot of us of color are viewed in a certain way because other people's experience is limited to what they read and what they see on TV. So if you can see us in more leadership roles, if you can see Black women other than crying and neck rolling, and I'm the side chick to the popular cheerleader girl with the sassy comebacks, we're more than that. Although I'm stay with the sassy comebacks, we have more going on, and it is a wide range from, you know, someone like as wild, and this is a dating myself, but someone like Brenda from the Scary Movies is a real thing. Just as real as Michelle Obama is. We're multifaceted. So when we get to have the full experience of being human,
shout out to Regina Hall.
Shout out to Regina. I love you. I love you so much. Spirit animal. But all the Reginas, okay? Regina King, all y'all. But when you get to see that, even watch, come on, like when we get to see that, it can change it. So I think on a local level or an indie level, support Jason, support people that are running things. Yay!
Thank you, Alicia.
That can put these images out here, because this could be something, it seems small, and being a nerd now, you know, is cool, right? But we remember being in our respective fandoms and it wasn't cute to like the stuff the way that we liked it before. It's cute now, but it wasn't cute. Then I was told I was going to die alone in my mother's basement because by my father. Plot twist. So because I was a nerd, there's stuff I was into. So when we get to change that narrative and support you, so even supporting what you do, Vampy, and providing that platform, I'm so excited for my kid and my kid's kid, because this is going to be something that can hopefully change real life for us. It can then be an art imitating life, because it's like, I saw this guy in this Andromeda thing, right? Well, then that means Devontae can actually do the leadership role with his hair like that. He doesn't have to cut his hair, because I saw somebody that I liked lead just fine. It sounds simple, but that's how a lot of people's minds work.
Look, you're talking about, this is the reason. And I've been watching everything happen, and I'm like, what is the fabric that's missing? And I always say this is like, I spent my life trying to convince people that I wasn't a villain when I was born a hero. Yeah. And so for Alistair's journey, it was really important to have this young Black man be a hero, and have these other women be heroes, be powerful, be leaders, and also be vulnerable. I think when you said about Spider-Man struggling through his powers, I'm like, oh my God, she's gonna love this story, because we talk about growth and learning how to use our powers, because we don't really, when we're moving through the world in a realistic way, we have to learn, make mistakes, fail, and try to figure it out. The hair piece, there's like some really important conversations around like hair, hiding hair, language, mother-son dynamics between Alistair and his mother is very much my experience with my mom, and my experience with my father is woven in there too. So there are nuances to the story that you won't know unless you know. And I think that anyone can enjoy it. But when you come from like this experience, even if you like I grew up in the suburbs, you'll know what I'm talking about. You'll know what I'm pointing to. You'll see all the little details of like our experience that are woven into the bigger world of experience. So that's why, the cast is diverse. we do address like white saviorism in there, and like all of those things, because it is a statement about our social structure, how we as individuals move through the things that are set up for us, and how we can break free of them.
And that's dope. That's dope. I'm glad that you have that platform. I'm glad you started writing that story at 15 and decided to come back full circle
and
around.
never stopped. I just like how he even expressed that. That sounded very CNN ready. That was good. I like that.
Oh man, CNN ready. I love it.
He was ready. He about to have me dipping my savings. Like, I can't wait till Friday.
Yeah. So Jason, I'm going to have you go.
It ends on Thursday.
I know. Can't wait.
So you still got time, everybody, to get out there and pledge. Let's throw that link up one more time. Go ahead, jump on that Kickstarter. Pass the word around. Get that out there. We want this out there, and if you pledge high enough, you might get that limited edition. So there you go. We are going to go. Too. Oh yeah, and someone else will too. Yeah. So we have another segment.
Thank you, Earl.
Yeah. We have another segment. Jason, I'm gonna have you go in the back, so we're gonna take you out. But we have another segment called the lightning round. Lightning round. So the lightning round is it's a piece that
I'm sorry. Terry hit me up out of nowhere. Terry Huddleston. He said, Brandy, and I'm like, what's going on? And we know him. That's why we're talking like that. And we commissioned him earlier because we want our own avatars. He sent me my avatar.
No, I'm hitting him up next week.
So that's why I was like, where did this come from?
Yeah. So
let me bring my questions up.
So I'm gonna have you go in the bag, Jason. So and then you'll come up next. All right. All right, Vampy, here you go. Brandy, Candy, the floor is yours.
So what I'm going to do, it is going to be painless. Honestly, it's probably going to hurt me more than it hurts you. Is that like a black thing, by the way? Because I swear we've all heard that, and it's like, no,
this is gonna hurt me more than it hurts you.
This hurts me, Mama.
Putting me to sleep right now.
Listen. So what I'm going to do is a mix, because what I've done before with guests is I've done the rapid fire questions, and then I've done the would you rather. So I'm going to do a mix of both. So you're going to have some quick things where I say red or blue, you give me that, and then you're going to have some out there and some in there would you rather questions. So are you ready, Miss Snow?
I'm ready.
You know nothing, Miss Snow. Okay. So, I couldn't help it. You probably heard that a million times. I couldn't help it. All right. So first question, Brandy or Monica?
Brandy.
I was going to say, how you answer that tells us everything we need to know. She had to think about it. Okay, the cartoon show Doug or the cartoon show Recess?
Doug.
But that was a hard one to me.
Yeah,
I can't.
That's a hard toss.
Popeye's biscuits or Red Lobsters?
Oh.
Yeah, you got to think. Let your ancestors use you. You gotta think about
I'm gonna say Red Lobster, because Popeyes sometimes they be a little dry.
But when they're not, it's clutch. But you can't risk it. I've never had a Red Lobster biscuit was like, y'all slipping. They've always been on point.
Right.
Typically, you're like, another basket, please. Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation.
Tay, she meant that. PlayStation. Good answer. Tater tots or waffle fries?
Tater tots.
Okay, cookies or cakes?
Cookies.
How can you can't go wrong with she made that. Cookies. And are you a summer girl or are you a winter girl?
Winter.
All right, see, so that was painless, and only like one or two questions had her kind of like, meh. Now we're going to go to our would you rather. So would you rather talk to animals or speak all human languages?
Speak all human languages.
You don't want to be Dr. Dolittle? You don't want to talk? Because if you could talk to an elephant or something, you could get it to like do something for you.
Nah, I think it goes back to me working in customer service and wanting to talk to like other customers that don't really know English that well and wanting to help them out.
And you would get paid. Imagine, like, what?
Yeah.
I speak a lot of languages.
She'd be like Cypher from the X-Men then. Okay.
Pretty much. Like, what do you speak? All of it. Everything. Would you rather be reborn into the past or the future?
Yeah, the future.
Listen, anytime I see any time travel question, I'm like, it don't ever work out unless you can get me back to the tribe that I would somehow be related to so I can experience that. That's the only way. I have to have a direct line or else I can't. Giving up brushing your teeth or brushing your hair. Not the
Well, I don't
Chris,
have hair.
You good, Chris.
Hair,
You good.
so I don't keep hair on my head. I
giving up brushing my hair.
You're giving up the hair?
Yeah, because I could twist it.
See, but you could have like maybe used like a water pick or something on the teeth and then
no, I gotta brush my teeth. I like being
said and no. Okay,
Earl,
Earl
says,
more questions.
Earl says fuck these teeth. Okay.
The hair is everything. It is. It's a personality of its own. And can you imagine someone's like, yo, you might want to brush that down. I can't because I brushed my teeth. So I can no longer brush my hair. I'm so sorry.
I just twist it.
Fair enough. All right, just a few more here. Getting stranded in Antarctica or in the desert. So you're basically freezing to death, or you're dehydrated.
Or you're dehydrated, right?
I'm gonna say freezing to death.
I feel like freezing to death would be less painless, but I don't know why.
Yeah, because from what I know,
tell us.
Freezing to death, you just kind of like get tired, and people are like, "Oh, don't fall asleep."
How do you know this? What's going on?
I watch a lot of movies. That's all.
Oh, okay, girl. I thought you had a source. I'm like, she talks to dead people.
Don't fall asleep. I don't know. I think I'd fall asleep instead of like being like.
You're right, because they do say like they're like, wake up, don't fall. You're right. Okay. Last one, which I feel like is simple. Eat dinner alone for a year, or have to take showers at a public gym for a year.
Eat dinner alone.
That doesn't bother me either. Some people can't do it. They feel like it's weird, but I'm like, that's not.
I like my quiet.
Yeah, I love how she said, I like my quiet.
I'd even go to like I could see you as a restaurant girl, like going to a restaurant alone. And it's like, this table is mine.
I'm natural. I barely brush my hair anyway. Fingers are the best detangler. Okay, Lisa.
Fingers do detangle, but depending, like underneath this hair, I'm a 4C girl, so ain't no finger detangling. You're like, like that.
You co-wash your hair, and when you have the conditioner in your hair, when you're co-washing it, you detangle it with your fingers. Because
ma'am, I need you to speak English. So let's start there. You just come and do it for me. That's what we're gonna do. You do my hair for me once or twice a week, detangle, help your girl out.
I got
so yeah, that's it. See, painless. It was fun. You didn't lose any limbs. I did my job right, Chris. I told you. Yeah, I got this.
I have faith in you.
I didn't embarrass the brand.
Okay, so Jason is up. Vampy, I'm gonna have you go in the backstage for a little bit. Be right back.
Get your detangling stuff for me.
All right. Okay.
That was so funny.
So now you are going to get a completely different set of questions.
Oh, I was like getting my questions ready. Like,
no, I already knew. I was like, nah.
I had to think of it like Family Feud. I'm like, if she asks the same one, they'll hear it. Can't do it that way.
Yeah, you can't do that. Although I am going to repeat a question because I want to see what he says, which I think I'll know what he says anyway, but I'm going to ask you. So your first question, then we'll get into the would you rather as you experience as well. Brandy or Monica?
Ooh. Oh, you are really you're really trying me today. Brandy.
Okay. I just was making sure, sir. Because I would have hated to stop the questions.
You and I just need to talk. Like, I want to have you on the Lost in Andromeda IG Live. Like, y'all need to come on and we need to just have a little conversation about
We
all
have that
culture.
Listen, pretty much. So okay. Cats or dogs?
Animals? Just kidding.
Okay.
think cats. I can't do the neediness.
Sorry. Because dogs do be like, oh my God, you home?
Yeah. I want to do
and he's
something
like,
right now.
I just got inside the house.
Yeah.
Okay. Pop music or rock music?
Pop music.
Good job. Text message or a call? I already know.
Don't call me.
The best time to call me is text message.
Text messages. My friends have a joke. They know when they call me, I'm looking at the phone. Like, why? Like, what? What
it's like
do
the
you
Big
have
Sean
to say
meme where he's just like,
couldn't...
okay.
Yes, text messages.
All right, fire powers or ice powers?
Ooh, that is a hard one.
It is.
I think
I'm getting My Hero Academia vibes at this point.
I
got into that all late, and then I was like, man, I need to unlock my trauma so I can have both this one. Is that all it takes? I got daddy issues too. Like, that's all it takes. Doctor Who or The Walking Dead?
Ooh.
Oh, definitely Doctor Who.
He meant that. I thought he was pausing. I was just like, not judging. Either one would have been fine. Witches or wizards?
Oh, wow. That's a hard one.
See, I couldn't give you the same questions.
Oh, that's a hard one.
The next one will be easy.
You're the wizard.
I only like one wizard, so I'm gonna say witches, especially because I'm on some. I've always been a Scarlet Witch fan, so we'll just do witches.
I felt that way too when I read that question. I'm like, I can only like rock with one wizard, but I'm like, the witches though.
Well, it gets to Gandalf and Harry, but still.
But I mean, if you're gonna like a wizard, have it be the wizards.
Yeah.
Again, shout out to VampySnow with that because she did a bomb cosplay with that too. All right, and Superman or Batman?
I mean, I guess Superman. Yeah.
Not I guess. How you do? We'll get into that later.
Superman. I think Batman's a little bit of a sociopath. That's just me.
Okay, but if you grew up like he did, you'll be the same way.
Okay, I don't want to go into this deep, but are we using trauma as an excuse for sociopathic behavior?
Oh no, you don't have to go this deep because I'm irrational. We are definitely using trauma as an excuse to validate it. Because between that and the white privilege of it all, I totally understand his whole path. And I accept it and I embrace it. Because my dumb ass would have been one of many in Gotham. Like, are you gonna call me back, Bruce? Like, what's going on? Am I gonna say you? But anyway, enough about my trauma with the Wayans. So let's get into this. Would you rather marry the person of your dreams or have the job of your dreams?
Oh God, it's something I've been looking at on TikTok today, and it said so.
Definitely marry the person of my dreams. I don't believe in jobs.
Come on now. I don't work for other people.
There's a TikTok meme and it says, would you rather have the job of your dreams? He was like, darling, I don't dream of having a job.
That's when you have some dry wine. Like, who wants to really do that? Okay. Would you rather drown to death or be burned to death?
Oh,
that's really a messed up question.
Questions you ask, your kids before you tuck them in at night. Just simple questions.
Or burned to death. I feel like drowning would be less painful.
I was gonna say I'm gonna need to be burned because I just don't like
burning. Every
water.
inch of your skin is on fire. Like
I know, cells. But everybody that I see burn up, they like scream for a minute, right? And then they like, and then they out. People that drown be struggling. I'm not trying to struggle to drown. Yeah, Yeah. It just seems like it's just engulf me real quick and then
yeah.
Because apparently when I die,
I love
it's
her.
Gonna be
I love her. I love her death cries.
It's just tell my mom I love her. I'm stupid. Would you rather always have a full battery for your phone or always have a full tank of gas for your car?
Always have a full tank of gas for my car because charging my phone is free.
There we go. Although it's annoying sometimes. That's
logical.
All. It's just
logical
annoying.
Thinking.
Find a dead body or be a witness to a deadly assault.
Oh my Lord.
Ooh. I'll go with the dead body.
I don't want to find a dead body though.
I think I'd rather find a dead body than watch someone be assaulted.
It depends. Well, they said deadly assault, so
yeah, I don't want to be the witness to that. I'm like, I ain't seen
but do I have to like be the witness? Like, do I gotta really come to the stand, or did I just see it?
Seeing it can be very traumatizing, and I mess around and get involved.
Oh, well, then he said he about that life. I feel that. That's what I heard. Smack a puppy, or sorry,
smack a puppy.
Because he already chose cats over dogs. So
okay.
I imagine him blow. Smack a puppy or get smacked by your dad in public.
I would definitely get smacked by my dad in public.
You wouldn't smack a puppy?
There's no way.
It didn't say you got to smack him hard. Just
what is with the death cry?
I wouldn't hit a dog. I love your sounds, but I wouldn't hit a dog.
I wouldn't hit a dog either. So nobody come for me. I'm just saying just a little.
Get away from me.
My dad can hit me if he feels the need to. It's fine. Not a big deal.
Okay. All right. Now, last one.
If it saves the puppy.
Turn.
Right.
I don't want the puppy to die. Turn pink every time someone said hello, or get really angry every time someone said bless you.
Jesus. You don't take long with these questions at all.
Let me think about this.
I'm just laughing at someone going Hulk because they say God bless you.
I think it'd be more fun to be angry every time.
I think so too.
What'd you say to me?
What?
Yeah,
you sneeze.
Oh, mad.
These are just questions that need answers. That all. So this went well. Thank you, guys. I know everything I need to know.
That was
back
nutty.
there laughing.
That was insane. Before we get out of here, I'm going to show our Blurred's Eye View clip of the week.
We could go. Fuck with us and then we tweaking, ho. Run up on that nigga, get the squeezing, ho. Everybody.
So now we know where the hat went.
I hate black people. Why are we like
welcome
this?
home, Bobby Schmurder. Welcome home, brother.
We don't take nothing seriously. I swear to God.
I told you I was going to do it.
We don't take nothing seriously.
So before we close out, VampySnow, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, any other social platform. Just type in VampySnow and you will find me.
All right. Jason, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me at Lost Children of Andromeda on everything. I'm mostly on Instagram. And and the Kickstarter, search Lost Children of Andromeda on Kickstarter.
And do it before Thursday. Don't wait till Friday, y'all.
Yes.
Move some money around. That's
it. That's all you got to do. Brandy.
At So Your Brandy is where I force everybody to go. So you can see the Triangle podcast I got going on. You can definitely follow Blurred's Eye View. You can get into Golden Goddess because we're about to have these products popping for your manifesting, mood boosting needs in like 2 weeks. So I'm very excited about that. And shout out to queer artist Damien Nova. I got to be a vampire in his music video like a week ago. So I hope I gave enough like... I do. I hope I channeled my VampySnow because that was it was a lot. I'm like with the fake blood, like, is this good? Am I good? So I hope it turns out well. But the song is bomb. He's a great artist, and then follow their page Neon Claws because that's his whole band. So he's a great independent artist, but as well as the band is really good. They're good live, and I'm always gonna hype up people that can sing live. So when the world's back to somewhat normal again, I hope people can support them because it's important.
That's good. Since we're getting out of here, we are going to go into the Blurred layer to talk about WandaVision episode 8. Is 8? We're on 8 now. Right?
Is it?
Yeah, 8. And so that's going to be our spoiler rich episode. So you're not gonna see that until Wednesday. But be sure to tune in and subscribe to the Facebook page, Blurred's Eye View Podcast, and the YouTube page under the same name for the latest updates in the Blurred world. Check us out also on Instagram at Blurred's_Eye View, all lowercase. And tune in next Saturday as we continue to showcase our cosplayers and other POC creatives in many fields and genres. And until next mission, I'm Chris Fury, along with DC, who's not here on mission right now.
Which is why it was a great show.
And Candy B. Remember to educate yourself and others, entertain yourself and others, and empower yourself and others. And until next mission, I'm General Chris Fury. We're out.